Krishnaraj Rao here again. Okay, so this time around I am going to explain to you the issue of carpet area shortage in Lodha's flats with specific reference to Lodha Belmondo, which is a project near Pune, and Lodha New Cuff Parade. I am tempted to use the word carpet area fraud, but I wish to point out that many malpractices have been normalized by the real estate business. People seem to have gotten used to the idea of super built up, and so Lodha's carpet area shortages sound like a continuation of the super built up practice. However, I would like to give it a little perspective to denormalize it. First, let's understand how much shortage of carpet area would be a reasonable expectation, or how much 19 would you expect if a flat is being built. The value of carpet area varies between 10, 12, 13, 15,000 per square feet, goes all the way up to 30, 40,000 per square feet. Okay, carpet area is expensive. And to think that one can just say, oops, I'm sorry, I sold you 1,000 carpet area, but it turns out to be actually only 700 carpet area. To think that this is a normal thing is a sign of the corruption of our times. Yes, it happens a lot. It doesn't happen only with Lodha, it happens with many others. It is a sign of the corruption of our times too, that we consider this a normal practice, like it's okay, it happens, everybody does it, right? When we see someone doing it, when we actually catch someone doing it, if we just let it all go, let them go, by saying, oh yeah, everybody is doing it, then we are encouraging that practice. So let me begin the story of carpet area shortage. How much carpet area shortage is there at Lodha's flats typically? I first got clued into the carpet area shortage issue when I had an interior designer measure the plans that a salesperson gave me. The plans of Belmondo, it was part of the brochure. There are large flats, there are villas, and there are studio apartments, which are small 1 BHK type flats. So there is a whole variety of flats, and their dimensions were written in the brochure. So I had an interior designer measure them, and that is when I came to understand that the larger flats may have 25% shortage of carpet area, absolute shortage, okay, of carpet area, and the smaller flats seem to have about 10% or less than 10% sometimes, usually in the range of around 10%. So the smaller the flat is, the smaller is the shortage of carpet area. But if you're buying a small flat, you're getting a still smaller flat, and that hurts. So I wrote an article a long time back, it's about a year, more than a year ago, saying measure your carpet area, Lodha is cheating you. I wrote that article, yes, and I wrote those words. Now before I write any article, I send it to the person concerned for his rebuttal and give him about 48 hours or 72 hours to reply in a reasoned way. So I also sent it to Lodha. I sent it to all the top honchos by email. No reply came as usual. They prefer to think that if they ignore you long enough, you will go away. And I published that article. A lot of people read that article. I used to get calls from people who planned to buy a flat at Belmondo. And I told them, watch out, buyer beware. Don't take my word for it. Measure the flat. Many of the people did that and then called me back and said, Krish, we measured the flat, you are right, it's smaller, it's much smaller. And so they didn't buy it. I don't know, maybe Lodha didn't notice. In any case, carpet area shortage is a normal business practice. So, a guy who is in Belmondo recently contacted me. He says, Krish, I took delivery of this flat in January 2018 and I only came across your article now. What should I do? I said, get an architect, get a valuer to measure your flat. So he got a chartered engineer who's a valuer and measured his flat. And sure enough, his studio apartment, which is supposed to be 490 square feet, is short by 59.98, which is almost 60 square feet. 60 square feet smaller in a 490 square feet flat is more than 10%. It's actually 12%. Okay, it's 12% smaller. And so he filed a police complaint. But what happens? The police doesn't register a complaint. The shortage of carpet area wasn't the only issue that the engineer found. He found many other issues. One of the issues, for instance, was that there was no window in the kitchen and in the bathroom. There were no windows, okay, which is quite serious. That's a lack of ventilation. Another issue he found was that the electrical fittings had plug points, okay, sockets, but no switches to turn them on and off, which means he would have to do the electrical work again. Now Belmondo is sold as a luxury project. Belmondo is sold as a second home. Okay. So it's true that it's a 1 BHK. This guy bought a studio apartment that's essentially a 1 BHK. But it's sold as a luxury home. And in a luxury home, it should come with all the fittings, all the right fittings. Lodha has a whole lot of architects and interior designers to plan it right. So why did that not happen? The second thing that this valuer noticed and he remarked was that the permission had been given subject to Lodha providing solar water heaters. Maybe it is because Pune is a very sunny place, so they thought that solar water heaters are a good idea. And he checked out and found that the solar water heaters, the solar paneling was actually not connected to anything. The solar paneling is just for show, and in the bathroom he found geysers, water heaters, electric water heaters, and he wrote that in his report. And he also wrote that the switch of that electric water heater was not in the dry part of the bathroom where it should be. If you are concerned about your buyer's safety, the switches are in the wet part of the bathroom. Okay, so a person is essentially exposing himself to getting a shock if there is a leakage. People can die. This valuer repeatedly remarked this in his report, not once but twice. He said it's dangerous, it's life-threatening, it's not just a violation, it's dangerous. Okay, I published this about a month ago. So, a chartered engineer tells you that Lodha Belmondo studio apartments are 60 square feet smaller than they are supposed to be, 12% smaller than they are supposed to be, and that many of the features are non-standard, non-quality, violation of DC rules, violation of National Building Code, okay, violation of a whole lot of things. Okay. After some time, after I published this article, another person who strongly suspected that her flat was actually a whole bunch of people who strongly suspected that their flat was smaller, called an architect, a court approved architect, a court approved valuer who gives his opinion to the court, to the High Court, Bombay High Court, on disputes in properties. Okay, so this court approved empaneled valuer went to the houses of all these people, with a good large number of people, and he gave his report, and he found a lot of violations. He found a lot of violations of DC regulations. He found many violations of the contractual obligations that are mentioned in the agreement. Okay, I'm talking about this happened in Lodha New Cuff Parade project at Wadala, which seems to have become my favorite topic nowadays. So, this government approved valuer checked out the flats, and let me tell you about the report that I have in my possession, that I have read, okay, that I have studied. There were two flats. This person, Shilpi Third, had bought a Jodi flats. One was supposed to be 1333 square feet carpet. Turned out to be how much? 925 or 950, I think. Another one was supposed to be about 900 and something carpet, and turned out to be only 625, 650. Okay. In any case, I'm a little bit fuzzy on the figures, but the larger one was 27% short of the, there was a carpet area shortage of 27%, and the smaller one had a 30% carpet area shortage. Okay, and this is carpet area as defined in the DC regulations. Now Lodha of course has sought to bring in his own idea of what it should contain, what carpet area is all about and so on. They mess around with the term usable area. They try to say that, oh, why are you talking about carpet? Talk about usable area, okay? But you have contracted for carpet. When you say usable area, what they mean when they say usable area is, there is a Chacha. I have taken a permission from MMRDA to build a Chacha, okay? Chacha is an awning outside the house. It's meant to keep out rain. It's meant to shade the windows and shade the exterior of the building and prevent the rainwater from running straight down the building and sort of fall off the sides. Okay, that's a Chacha. So he takes permissions for a Chacha. He builds a Chacha, and then on top of the Chacha he builds something that he calls a balcony with engineered wood and glass. Okay, he erects the balcony and then he counts that towards his contractual obligation to give you that amount of carpet area. Okay, so he gave 27 and 30% less carpet area in these flats, but gave these kind of spaces, okay, what he calls dry balconies in some places, and what they call exclusive balcony, EVBT, exclusive veranda, balcony, terrace, that sort of thing. The effort is to fudge the whole carpet area concept, okay, which is against the rules. The effort is to use less FSI, less floor space index than you have purchased, and you know, use the surplus somewhere else. So basically, when Lodha builds 3 houses, the 4th one kind of becomes free. Or let me put it another way, if he were honest, it wouldn't have been a 40-story tower, it would have been only a 30-story tower. Given the same carpet area, you could have had larger flats. If you wanted to do this Chacha thing, balcony, you could still have done it. Okay, you could have made your house larger. He could have given you the carpet area and made your house larger, way larger, right? And he didn't do that. So I live in a 850 square feet house in Raheja. Okay, it's a 2 BHK. We got spacious bedrooms, large bedrooms, and a very, very large sitting room, and a very spacious kitchen too. Now when I step into a 1300 square feet house, it stands to reason that I should feel that I am in a very large house, right? I should get this feeling of largeness, of bigness. I should feel that the bedrooms are bigger. Okay, 3 BHK, so it's not, I mean, it's way bigger than my house. But when I get into those bedrooms, I feel they are tiny, pokey little bedrooms, 10 by 11 or 10 by 12 spaces, small spaces, some of them even smaller than that, I think, 9 by 10 or something. 3 BHK, how can it be having bedrooms that small? Okay, that's an issue. Now it becomes even more of an issue because the people who purchase these houses are not allowed to see the houses before they purchase them. If they saw this house and then purchased it, then you would say, yeah, you knew what you were getting. Don't cry now. But the thing about Lodha houses, I think it's of course true of a few other builders as well, and we will get to them. But the thing about Lodha houses is, for the most part, you are forced to book a flat without seeing even one actual flat. What they show you is a so-called show flat that is made at the sales office. And the sales office show flat is full of furniture. It is heavily made up. Okay. So let me put it this way. If you take a really ugly woman, really ugly woman, and you make up, you really plaster on the makeup, and you show a photoshopped photograph to a guy and ask him to marry her. Well, guess what? When he's going to get a very rude shock on his Suhagrat, right? So it is like that. When these people get their actual house, they realize it is nothing like the show flat. They realize that there are all kind of issues which were not there in the show flat, because the show flat is, well, a show flat, right? It was very cleverly made out to be a very luxurious, very spacious flat. A very clever illusion was created, and people booked on the basis of that illusion. So, in view of this, and in view of the fact that the carpet area is mentioned in the agreement, I would like to use a word here. This is cheating. This is fraud. Okay? It's not practices. It's not some kind of benign thing that builders do. Oh, this is a standard practice among builders. No. This is a fraud. This is cheating. This is systematic misrepresentation of the facts. This is concealment of material facts from someone to whom you should be disclosing facts, to whom you should be giving a fair opportunity to judge your product and buy your product, rather than buy your product blind. Okay? So this is the issue. This is the issue. Now, a lot of people who take delivery of these flats, after waiting for 6, 7, 8 years, they say, oh well, now we're going to call in a clever interior designer and let him do his thing. And a clever interior designer can make that flat look good, make functional, livable. They booked a spacious flat, but now they are living in a compact flat, and then they are making very clever use of the spaces with compact concepts. But they didn't bargain for compact living. They didn't bargain for... These are people who have no dearth of money. They wanted spacious living. They wanted gracious living. Why did you force them into compact living? That is the question. Let's discuss this a little bit further, this carpet area cheating and fraud. Okay? Let's imagine that you purchase, you see a package that says 1 kilo sugar, and that package only contains 700 grams sugar. Is that acceptable? Is that an acceptable practice? Can we say, oh, it is super built up packaged, or it is usable sugar? Or how about you buy gold? No, I think I gave the wrong analogy actually. It is a bit like this. A goldsmith who mixes silver and gold on a routine basis sells you he says he bills you for 4 grams of gold. Okay? And what he does is he gives you 1 gram of silver and 3 grams of gold, mixes it in. He calls it usable gold. Okay? He calls it usable gold. He bills you for 4 grams of gold. He gives you 3 grams of gold. Is that acceptable? Would you be going to the police? I think you would. If some jeweler did that to you, I think you would go to the police. And I think the police would register an FIR against the jeweler, and you would see the jeweler behind bars in a short while. So these people have gone to the police, okay, for cheating. The criminal action of cheating them. And the police appears to be very, very, very reluctant to register an FIR. It's dragging his feet. The Belmondo guy has complained to the police, I think, at least 1.5, 2 months ago. Some of the Lodha New Cuff Parade people who hadn't yet had their flats measured by an architect but knew that it was short have gone to the police a few months ago. And Shilpi Third, who had her flat measured by the court-approved valuer and actually got a report from him which said shortage of carpet area, went to the police about a week ago. She wrote a complaint. She emailed a complaint to the Commissioner of Police and Joint CP EOW and Joint CP Crime. If it was any other kind of a trade, I think that person would have been seeking anticipatory bail already. But because it is the real estate business, and this kind of thing has been normalized, the police are wondering. The police are wondering. They are saying, oh, well, maybe this is a civil dispute between the flat purchaser and Lodha. It's a civil dispute. Let it be adjudicated by RERA. I think they must be thinking something like that. But guys, this isn't a civil dispute. This is cheating. Billing for 925 square feet and delivering 650 square feet carpet. I think it's cheating. That's the name for it. Cheating. Fraud. Don't you think so? Do you think this is normal? Do you think this should be accepted as normal? And we should. Do you think I am defaming this corporation, this company called Lodha, and the people who have that surname? Think about it.